In Tasmania, a new conservation battleground is shaping up as miners eye off new leases in the Tarkine wilderness. Tarkine development is bitterly opposed by green groups, but the pro-mining lobby says resources sector jobs are essential to the state in the economic doldrums. Tasmania has the highest unemployment rate in Australia. Developing industries that keep and attract people is becoming essential. One of the most successful industries also happens to be one of the more sustainable. Aquaculture is worth $500 million a year to the Tasmanian economy and is growing. Now it's being touted by some as offering real hope for Tasmania's economic growth. Hamish Fitzsimmons reports.
Tasmania's Tarkine wilderness is shaping up as the new battleground between development and environmentalists. It holds much of the state's mineral resources and its most pristine forests. The logging industry is on the decline in Tasmania. It no longer provides the lifelong career many like third-generation logger Dean Gibson thought it would.
Early 80s, basically left school, went straight in the bush, working on logging contracts. Eventually worked up to running contracts myself, and then went to Forestry Tasmania.
And what happened? Why did you get out of forestry?
Well, security, I suppose. Didn't really seem like it was going to be overly secure.
This magnetite mine at Savage River, an isolated part of the northwest, has been going for 40 years.
I think the resources industry is a significant industry for Tasmania. It's very important that we have that stable base of jobs. It drives things like technological development. It drives workforces and employees. We employ more than 600 people here in Tasmania, and the flow-on effect is maybe 4 or 5 to 1 with the way we invest in our local state.
While opposition to more mining in the area is strong, others argue Tasmania's economy is at a tipping point, and without more development, the state will continue to stagnate, and its unemployment rate, already the highest in the country at 7.5%, will grow.
There must be a more conciliatory approach from the Greens if we're to go ahead as an economy.
Bruce Filmingham is a prominent Tasmanian economist. He says the state has become too reliant on federal subsidies and that a dominant pro-green cultural and political elite has stymied development.
They've created a culture which is in it almost like Russia's 19th century nihilism. You know, you do nothing, you accept nothing, nothing has value, and so there's no development. I think that attitude now has to go on hold.
The resources industry feels getting the green light for projects in Tasmania is too difficult and takes too long.
We're seeing with the environmental environment that we have here, all of these decisions blow out and take more time than they really should.
While it seems the debate about the impact of the resources sector on the environment here in Tasmania will never be resolved, industries like aquaculture are providing a sustainable business model and a future for many Tasmanians.
In the areas with which we operate in, we are the #1 place in town. So would it be that it's a rural and regional area where forestry has gone from? We are now taking the baton and making sure that there are some viable and sustainable communities out there. So we employ people directly from that town, and it can be something that makes a real difference in that regional area.
11 years ago, Mark Ryan came back from the mainland to Tasmania to be the receiver of a failing fish farming company.
Coming back to Tassie, I really wanted to come back and make a difference, saw salmon as a great product and saw that, you know, we could really take this industry and make it an iconic industry, not just for Tassie but for Australia at the end of the day.
He's since turned TasSal into the biggest name in aquaculture in the state. Worth $500 million annually, it's Tasmania's fastest growing industry. Aquaculture employs about 2,000 people and is growing. A major expansion on the west coast has just been announced. Many of the younger generation in the Tasmanian business community have grown up in the shadow of the forest wars, where businesses and environmental groups failed to reach consensus.
The big thing for us is we understand that we're farming in a green and processing in a very green state. So to that end, we've made sure that we've got our social licence well up there. Our partnership with WWF is fundamental in that.
Working with green groups, they say, is the key to success for their businesses and the state.
We see ourselves as stewards of this great environment that we're working in, and we want to make sure it's maintained not only for our generation but future generations, and also provide that livelihood that people really need in this area.
It may be that the waters of the island state provide a key to its economic future. Hamish Fitzsimmons, Lateline.